In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up and configure file and folder backup of a Windows machine using Azure Backup. Here, I have logged on to my Windows 10 machine where I store my photos and other media. To backup my files on Azure, I need to configure Azure Backup first. I've already logged into my Azure subscription. First, I will set up Recovery Services Vault. Here I'll click New, and then I will search for Backup. From the options, I'm going to select Backup and Recovery OMS. This starts a wizard for creating a Recovery Services Vault, which is where all the data from the backups is stored. I'll provide it all the details including name, subscription that I'm going to use, Azure region where I want to store the vault, and any other relevant information. To store the vault, I'm going to use existing resource group. Once the vault is created, I can configure the backup. Let's start with the backup option in getting started. Here I have choice of selecting where the workload is running. Since the laptop I am trying to backup is local, I am going to select on premises. And in the backup I will select files and folders. Now I need to install Recovery Services Agent on my machine using the link provided. I will run the setup. Here you can select the installation location. I will accept the defaults. Since I don't use proxy servers in my environment, I will leave the proxy servers unchecked and click Next. And then I will proceed with the install. After the installation is complete, I can proceed with registration. Registration process registers the agent with the backup recovery vault that I just created. Before I proceed to registration, I will switch to the browser where we can download the vault credentials. The credentials are required to register the agent. Here I'll click download to download the vault credentials. And after I have the credentials file, I'll switch back to the installer and proceed with the registration. Here I will select the downloaded vault credentials file. Once the credentials are loaded, you have ability to verify the vault information and ensure that you have selected the appropriate vault credentials file. Here I will continue on. Next, I need to create a unique passphrase that is used to encrypt the data being backed up. This passphrase is also required when restoring the data. I'll let the wizard generate the passphrase and select a location where it can save the passphrase for future use. Once I click Finish, the registration process will continue, and if successful, the agent will be registered with Microsoft Azure for the vault that we have created. Once the registration is complete, I can close the wizard and launch the Azure Recovery Services Agent. Now I need to set up a backup job that will back up my data on a schedule. Let's schedule a backup. In the backup wizard, I will select the data including files and folders that I want to be backed up. Here I can select the folders that I need backed up. And since I don't need any exclusions, I can skip the process, but if you need to add any, you can add the exclusions here as well. After I have selected all the folders, I'll select the time of backup. I have ability to select 3 different times of the day the data will be backed up. By default, it backs up the data only once a day. I'm going to select 2 backup windows and click Next. Here I need to define the retention. The retention settings allow me to configure how long I want to keep the data I back up. I will keep daily copies for 6 months and remove all other options. Your retention choice has direct impact on the amount of data stored in Azure, which in turn affects how much you will pay for the usage of resources in Azure. Next, I will select how I want to create initial backup copy of the data. You can create a local copy of the data and ship it to Azure on SATA drives, which will be imported to your subscription as specified during the creation of the backup. Since I chose backup over the network, at this point my backup job has been created and there is nothing more to do. I will also return to the portal and I can close the wizard as all the required steps have been completed. That's it for the backup. I can kick off backup job manually if I need to. I'll let the schedule take care of first backup instead. Until next time, cheers.